Hey everyone, so for this video I wanted to explore my reel. It's been about 5 years since I last made it in 2019, and I personally feel like it's time for me to revisit it. So I wanted to kind of share it with you guys, and my reel is, I wouldn't say it's cringeworthy, but it definitely has some elements that I'm not happy with nowadays, so I thought it would be a good opportunity to show it to you guys as a way for me to review it, as well as to show it as a learning experience, because I do a lot of things in this reel that I'm not happy with nowadays, and I just wanted to show you guys what are some things I would personally do next time around to avoid it. And yeah, I hope you guys don't mind this. If you guys do want to just see the reel without my type of narration as well as my actual reviewing of it, I will be posting it separately if you guys want to take a look. Again, moving forward, I do want to make a different one that is that avoids some of the pitfalls. All right, let me replay it and let me react to it. This is something that I learned since starting my second reel. You see that I have myself listed as director, editor, and cinematographer. I think it's always good to have more of a specific focus, and if anything, to develop separate reels for each of the job focuses. It kind of shows me as a jack of all trades instead of a person that's in charge of a department. So for me, personally, I would remove the editor title and just focus on my director / cinematography clips. So this first section is dedicated to the short film I made called Take On Me. This was a 48-hour film festival challenge movie. This was definitely the first and so far the only time I've had a chance to direct. Reviewing it, I think I definitely made some really cool decisions. I absolutely love this shot of my actor Jay Kai in the kind of this moonlight and kind of the reveal. And the process of him murdering his pillow is just a really funny action. Definitely want to keep this in. A part of me nowadays isn't sure that this door shot is the strongest opener, just because it's one kind of static, it's kind of boring. If I had to give it a visual representation, it was about me kind of opening up my skills to the public, so to speak. But at least that's maybe how I thought of it. So this wedding video is kind of a weird inclusion now that I look back at it. I think I probably would still include it just because there's some really interesting cinematography choices that were made, as well as some very interesting direction choices that I wanted to make in terms of the editing process. Part of me kind of doesn't want to keep it, mostly because a lot of these decisions were also influenced very heavily from my cinematographer that was filming all this, named Duke Shaw. Great cinematographer, by the way. You guys should totally check him out. And I mean, this shot right here, this is the one shot I think I filmed for it, and it looks cool. I love the vibrancy, but you can clearly tell this is blown out. I needed a polarizer to resolve this hotness right now. But I love the sun flare and everything, which would suggest. But for me personally, whenever I watch reels, I'm never impressed by the inclusion of wedding stuff. That's more of a personal preference for me. So for me and my second reel, this might be on the chopping block essentially.
Whoa. There is something definitely wrong here.
I'm not going to give the captain a full report until I figure out what exactly is going on. Captain, we have some news as per your request.
Go ahead, Commander Gage.
Hey everyone, so this is Future Bobby. After reviewing some of the footage and editing this specific piece, I wasn't really happy with some of the points I made about this work experience as well as some of the cinematography. I wanted to re-record this as an opportunity for me to discuss more aspects of this production. This production was probably one of the toughest ones I've ever worked on. It was a bit of a roller coaster with this production, and it just, there was a lot going against me. This film was all shot in Tracy, California, which is about maybe 3 or 4 hours away from Morgan Hill / Gilroy area. And in addition to that, this short film was filmed in like the really late hours. I want to say filming began at 8 or 10 p.m. and I don't think we got off shoot until maybe 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'm driving back in the middle of the night with my friend, and it was probably one of the scariest drives ever. This was also kind of a tough position too, because even though I was only brought on as a camera operator, I acted more like a cinematographer, so it wasn't an actual title I was given. But knowing my experiences and knowing that I was the one that made a lot of the ultimate decisions with the camera shot sizes, the angles, I do credit myself as the cinematographer. And also in addition to that too, when I was working with the producer / the director, there was no script given, there was no shot list given, and there was no storyboard given. So when I arrived on set that day, it was very much me going into the production very blind. I personally like how this short film came out, but a part of me can't fully take credit for it because it was to the work of the really strong editor who was able to take what I had shot and repurpose it into for the most part, a very cohesive looking movie. So this music video was a drum cover of a band called Shed by Title Fight, and the drummer in question is someone I knew in college, and we were friends for the most part. This one had a really cool filming background history with it because we just went out into the middle of a field in Davis and we just filmed there. That being said, though, we did get asked to leave by, I think, medical staff that were working there, because we had to like cross through the parking lot to get to there, but they were super chill. They let us finish, and I think there are a couple of shots in here that I would probably keep for it. So this one was kind of a weird one. It's not even a cinematographer or director role I had. It was actually as a B-roll cam op. So if I was to add this back in, one of the first changes I would make immediately, just call it a cinematographer role. Because one, at the end of the day, I'm still shooting it. This is still my footage. Just so it's just clear and more uniformed. I can tell now, like after reviewing this footage, I can tell there's definitely a couple of hot spots where I would feel a little bit ashamed. Like the musician right here, I think his name is Vince. His checkered shirt is like overexposed right now because of like the LED lights they were using. So this one, I definitely don't think I would want to add it back. I mean, as you can tell, it's kind of a static video. And it's not visually interesting. The only thing of noteworthy is that I have the voice actor of Steven Universe, Dee Magnahall, which is the voice of Pearl, and so it's a really cool body of work. It just doesn't look visually interesting, which I don't know how I would be able to fix it, and I don't even know if this is something that I would want to fix because it's such an awesome role. But because I'm hoping to create my reel to look more flashier, I think I would avoid adding this entirely. This video was kind of interesting for me because this was kind of my first time ever making a cosplay music video. This is of a cosplayer friend of mine named Lavalier Disc. Really talented person. Her costumes / cosplays are always a treat for me to film because of how much attention to detail she gets into the character. One of the tough things I think I had filming this one was that of the videos here, this was the only one that was filmed in 720p, and this was at a time when I was trying to understand slow-mo. Slow-mo, this was all edited on DaVinci Resolve at the time, and to do slow-mo on DaVinci Resolve, it's kind of formatted in a weird way. I wouldn't recommend it. So a part of me does want to make this type of video a cornerstone for me, but I know as a cinematographer that's still working right now in the industry to an extent, it's not something that screams professionalism. There's a lot of shortcomings with it that I'm not happy, to the point where I do probably need to remove it. Shots are overblown like this. They're very hot, and that was something I could have avoided while filming. I can't really edit it because this was a 720p file. I didn't really understand the ability to use slow-mo. I feel like slow-mo holds a little too long in some places. This is a cool shot, but yeah, unfortunately this would be something that gets cut. Even though I really want to keep it in. And then finally, boom. And then finally, I would add some sort of final shot right here, as well as my name and email address to contact me in case you guys wanted to hire me. And that's pretty much it in terms of this review. Yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of this reel review. Hopefully you guys found this video entertaining and informational. I'm glad I got to explain some of my thoughts about some of the editing choices as well as some of the selection choices. And in case you have any questions about reels as well as how you can get started making your own reel, feel free to drop some questions down below and I'll try my best to answer them. Anyways, thanks for the watch, guys, and I will see you guys for the next one. Bye! Alright. I think I'm good with that.